And we pulled forward down just a touch, down to right about there, and we were able to look through the woods. I'm going to see if this works. So we were able to pull forward, and we looked through, and all we could see was that there was a little darker spot off into the distance. And this is where I told the students, now it's time to look at figure 2 in your packet. And figure 2 shows this image. What we can see is that this image basically would have been taken relative to the road being over here on the left. And you can see that there's water that is coming out of the side of the hill. Basically, the stream itself kind of comes in over this direction. And water's coming out of that stream, plunging over basically a cliff face and going down to the bottom of this hole in the ground. Hoping that now that you've done the remote assignment, you know that that's a sinkhole. And I'm hoping that you kind of recognize that these rocks up here look very thin, and they have a lot of characteristics that may suggest that they're shale. The thing that I can tell you is that when we've been out to this location prior to our field trip, these rocks did not react to acid. Meanwhile, if we were able to remove a lot of this material at the base of the hole, we could basically pull up some rock samples that did react to acid. So in other words, this sinkhole basically has limestone at the bottom, but then shale at the top. And here you can clearly see the sinkhole from the Google Earth, the topo feature. All right, so then we came down this road, and I talked to the students about making an observation that when you get to the low spot in a valley, you would normally expect to find a stream, right? Well, right here is the low spot in the valley. There's a pipe that goes underneath the road right there. But notice on either side of the road, aside from that pipe, there's no evidence of an actual stream valley. There's no evidence of surface water. If I just scroll out, you'll actually find that you have agriculture from one side of the valley to the other, and there's really no indication of any surface water. All right, so then we kind of went down. You can kind of go in two different directions. You could go this way on this road, or you could come down on this road. But either way, we ended up turning, and then I pointed out that there was a limestone quarry here. And we then stopped right at this location. Hopefully you can see in the DEMs a slight kind of odd depression. Yeah, the next sinkhole. And then what we did was we basically got off the bus here, walked back along. Oh wow, look at that surface water. See the creek? We walked back along this surface water and up to basically these locations up in here. Once we made those observations, then we walked down past this house and walked right past this house and stood right here and made some more observations. And once we were done there, we left. We made an observation basically right here at the side of near the side of the road, where we could see shales again outcropping on the side of the road. And it used to be that we could basically get out and observe bedrock along the road down here, but it's been covered up in the since a couple years ago. And so I had to tell everybody that what you would have found is this would have been sandstone, specifically the Bald Eagle, and it was dipping to the north. And then Tuscarora, again, dipping to the north. So then we turned around and we left. We went past some more quarries, and we left the valley in this direction. And we finally found surface of water as we were going up out of the valley over here. And in addition, we found right here and here, there was some outcrops on the sides of the road, and we could see that the rocks were dipping south again. So those were the observations we made. Oh, and these rocks were sandstone again. And then we got back on Interstate 80, drove east, back to the river, and then drove south, back to Lewisburg. So there was your virtual tour of our of the Nippenose field trip.